Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of my Storm fans. It's your captain speaking, and we are ready to rock and roll. If you give me just a moment and keep your arms, legs, and other appendages inside this vehicle, we're going to head towards stormy waters and run through a Legacy League. I'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Friday night stream. It's me, the captain. It's your friend Jordan. We're going to be playing some Magic the Gathering tonight. We're going to be attempting to solve the woes of yesterday's stream, plagued by internet problems thanks to a local storm here in Oklahoma. Some tornadoes, some hail, some lightning, some thunder, some rain, a little bit of everything. And everything's good right now. Clear skies, sunny, blue skies all the way. So we should be good. Hello, Jason. Welcome to chat as always. It's always very good to see you in here. So we're going to be playing Oops All Spells. Just like the name suggests, we are playing all spells. No lands, no nothing. How are we going to win the game? Well, I'll tell you how. We are going to win with Thassa's Oracle. Thassa's Oracle, fantastic win condition in many decks, Cephalid Breakfast, Doomsday, and the like. It essentially has a giant paragraph of text that says, if my library is empty, when this enters the battlefield, I win the game. So, that's fantastic. I need to be able to empty my library. Well, if I don't have any lands in my entire deck, then I can play one of 8 spies, two copies, play sets of each. Balustrade Spy, 4 mana for a 2/3 flying vampire rogue. When it enters the battlefield, target player, it's gonna be me, reveals cards from the top of the library until they reveal a land, and then puts those cards into their graveyard. Since I am not going to reveal a single land drop, then that mills my entire library, at which point I can win the game. Well, when that mills my library, I put Narcomoebas into play, and then I have Dread Return that I can use as a flashback cost to cast Dread Return by sacrificing 3 of the Narcomoebas, and reanimating Thassa's Oracle that also gets milled when I mill over my entire library, putting Thassa's Oracle into play and winning the game. This can happen as early as turn 1. This is a turbo combo deck, and we have a bunch of mana to get to the 4 mana that we need for Balustrade Spy, or the second Spy, Undercity Informer, 3 mana for a 2/3 human rogue that has a 1 mana activated ability, so 4 mana for all intents and purposes. 1 mana, sacrifice a creature, target player reveals the same thing until they hit a land, and then puts all those those cards into their graveyard. So for all intents and purposes, Balustrade Spy and Undercity Informer are the exact same card. One of them can get Pithing Needled, one of them cannot. One of them is less expensive in the front half, one of them is not. There's some pluses and minuses. They're relatively minor. So if we don't have lands, how are we getting to 4 mana? Well, we're cheating a little bit on their land count. We actually have 8 Modal Double-Faced cards. This is from Zendikar Rising. We have 4 Turn Timber Symbiosis, and I have the ability to bolt myself, pay 3 life, and put this Turn Timber Serpentine Wood into play untapped. The same thing with Agadeem the Undercrypt. I'm never going to cast Agadeem's Awakening or Turn Timber Symbiosis. These are just going to be lands that I am playing on the back half, but they don't count as lands thanks to Balustrade Spy, seeing that they're sorceries on the front half. So fantastic. Those are some initial sources of mana that are lands, and then I have another column that is initial sources of mana that are not lands. So these initial sources of mana include 6 artifacts, 4 Lotus Petals, and 2 Chrome Moxen. Fantastic sources of mana. Summoner's Pact, which in and of itself doesn't actually it doesn't make mana, but it fetches an Elvish Spirit Guide, which does produce mana. So I have all 8 Spirit Guides, Simian and Elvish Spirit Guides as initial sources of mana. So that's already 26 initial sources of mana. Almost half of our deck is initial sources of mana. Fantastic. And then I have 8 rituals with an asterisk, right? Cabal Ritual and Dark Ritual, obviously rituals. Cabal Ritual is going to be a +1 ritual, and then Dark Ritual is a +2 ritual as far as mana investment and payoff is concerned, right? Wild Cantor is what I would like to call a +0 ritual. I don't net any additional mana. It just filters, so I can take a Simian Spirit Guide or an Elvish Spirit Guide, cast Wild Cantor, and make a black mana to cast a Dark Ritual, to cast a Cabal Ritual, to eventually cast a Balustrade Spy, which requires black mana. So as far as mana goes, black mana is by far the most important because I need it for the Undercity Informer, the Balustrade Spies. Hello, Cybane. Yes, absolutely. And Kevin, yeah, this list is pretty cool. So I'll tell you a little bit about the origin of this list. There is a really pretty solid Oops All Spells community, and Faulted Form is the MTGO username for one of the, if not the best, Oops All Spells player of all time. They're constantly iterating on the deck. Ever since the Thassa's Oracle package got kind of incorporated here, it's just been off to the races, and they have been pushing the limits of what you can put in these 61 cards in the main deck. So I'll get to the 61 in just a second. Hey, Unbundin, how's it going? Your microwave just broke. That's not very good. Okay, so we have some rituals, we have some initial sources of mana, and we can make our land drops by kind of cheating around the Modal Double-Faced Card thing. We also have the ability to protect our combo. So Pact of Negation, since we're really kind of restricted on mana, we don't want to spend more than the minimum amount of mana that we need to actually win, right? Pact of Negation is a fantastic addition to this deck. It's a 0 mana counterspell, and it doesn't matter that it has a trigger at the beginning of my next upkeep that loses me the game if I can't pay its cost, 3 and 2 blue, because I'm never going to get to that point. I've already won the game or lost the game very quickly. So yeah, Jason, I actually did finish the league off stream, and I 4-1 the league. Really close to actually 5-0ing in the last match. Game 2, I misevaluated a game state where I should have started jamming earlier, and instead I waited an extra turn, and my opponent was able to draw a land that allowed them more interaction. Should have just jammed as soon as I could, but oh well, that's just fine. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a better finish today. Who knows? So, Pact of Negation, fantastic interaction and protection. Thoughtseize, this is both protection and disruption. Obviously, just the best discard spell that's ever been printed, and slots in perfectly here. The Cabal therapies function as a dual role, right? We've got our Cabal therapies that can name our Force of Wills from our opponent, the Force of Negations, the Endurances, things that are going to interact with our combo. We are necessarily a graveyard deck, right? So graveyard hate is particularly good against us. The other thing that Cabal therapy does, though, is allows us some leeway to drawing our combo pieces. If I draw a Thassa's Oracle during the course of the game, then I can't dread return it when I go to actually combo with a Spy. What I can do then is mill over Cabal therapies and use Narcomoeba to sack and target myself to discard a Thassa's Oracle or a Dread Return or some combo piece, right, that I need in the graveyard. And the nice thing about that is even if I have Dread Return and Thassa's Oracle in my hand, then I have 2 Cabal therapies, and even though I sacrifice 2 Narcomoebas and only have 2 left, I actually have a Bridge from Below that's going to trigger whenever my Narcomoebas die and replace them with zombies, so my total creature count doesn't change, so that I still have the requisite number of creatures to flashback Dread Return. It's really important. I think that this is a really efficient deck. There are 2 what I'll call like flex slots in the list, and they're both Reanimate and Memory's Journey. Reanimate, not a card that I'm super sold on. However, if Dread Return is countered, then I can work with Reanimate to put Thassa's Oracle into play anyway, right? So I have to have the Reanimate in hand. I either have that in hand naturally, or I mill it over, and if the Dread Return is countered, then I can actually use Memory's Journey, which has a flashback cost of a green. Target player shuffles up to 3 target cards from their graveyard to their library. So I can actually get a Lotus Petal and a Reanimate, and over the course of the next 2 turns, Reanimate Thassa's Oracle. So not the greatest backup plan, but if you do need a backup plan, it's there, and it's actually quite useful. Memory's Journey also functions quite nicely to play around things like Surgical Extraction. So I can just flash it back and remove the target of Surgical Extraction, usually a Narcomoeba. And if that happens, then the Surgical Extraction fizzles, the rest of the Narcomoebas enter the battlefield, and we're all good, right? So, Sumbo, the all-access tokens are over. However, this is a really nice, relatively budget legacy deck. And if you have access to a card hoarder rental account, then you can actually play this for a relatively inexpensive cost. And if you want, the description actually has a Moxfield link that you can use to then download the deck. And if you're watching on YouTube later, then there's a pinned comment that has both a TCG player link and a card hoarder link. And clicking on those links will automatically populate your cart with the cards that you need to either buy or rent the deck. And it's a really useful tool. So if you're looking into this and you're like, oh, you know what? I want to win with Thassa's Oracle and I don't want to play lands, then this is the deck for you, and you can rent it, try it out for a weekend, rent it, or if you're really invested, I own most of this. No. I own all of this in paper now. And I actually have it sleeved up and ready to go if I'm going to a local store and there's a player there. Some people have leftover decks. Oh, you can play my Death and Taxes. Oh, you can play my Naya Depths or whatever they have. Those are all fair decks. Come on. No. We need more unfair legacy players. So, in the game, not in real life. We need some combo players in Legacy, and Oops All Spells is a really nice way to kind of get into Legacy. It's about $650 in paper, fraction of that online, and it's just a blast. It's really, really fun. So the crux of this deck is that it does struggle against hate. I am necessarily a graveyard combo deck. So things like Rest in Peace, things like Leyline of the Void or Endurance are really, really big hosers of this strategy. So our weaknesses are addressed in the sideboard, and our sideboard actually has 4 Leyline of Sanctities, really good against Thoughtseize and Grief that are actually picking up in the metagame, and fantastic against Endurance. Endurance targets a player's graveyard, and I can't be the target of spells or abilities, so Endurance just straight up fizzles if a Leyline of Sanctity is on the battlefield. Well, it doesn't fizzle, but you can't target me. Leyline of the Void, there are a lot of graveyard decks running around in addition to Oops All Spells, which sees a moderate level of play. It 5-0'd on Wednesday, and this is the 5-0 list that I'm running from Faulted Form. I was really excited about. There's a Reanimator, and there's potentially something like Cephalid Breakfast, which maybe not something that I'm going to bring in the ley lines for, but it is a graveyard deck. And then for Leyline of the Voids from our opponents, I have 5 answers here. 4 Force of Vigors, which are just fantastic removal spells for the enchantments and artifacts of your nightmares. If there's a Grafdigger's Cage, if there's a Leyline of the Void, if there's a Rest in Peace, if there's a Soul Guide Lantern, Force of Vigor is a great way to mop up all of that and then combo out afterwards. Foundation Breaker is a little bit of a weird one, right? It's an evoke creature that maybe could be better as a Nature's Claim. Actually, not really. Foundation Breaker is a one-of, but since I'm running 4 Summoners packs that can go tutor a green card into my hand, if I board in Foundation Breaker, I'm actually running 5 copies of the card. So this one gets around Chalice of the Void, Nature's Claim does not, and it's tutorable. So Foundation Breaker is a really, really good way to kind of hedge your bet. Oops All Spells plays a lot of game 1s in the blind. If I'm on the draw, or if I'm on the play and I win before my opponent has the ability to make a game action, then I'll typically bring in a Foundation Breaker, and then that's it. Just kind of hedge my bet a little bit, and I still have 5 copies of Leyline of the Void removal. So I'm not completely dead in the water in game 2. And then the Xantid Swarms are for the surgical extractions and force of wills, force of negations of the world. So the fair matchups, Xantid Swarm is an overperformer, just completely silence my opponent. It doesn't stop things like Fairy Macabre, but we still have Thoughtseizes and Cabal therapies for things like that. So I am going to run it back. Hopefully this stream doesn't completely go kaput like it did yesterday. I think that we're going to be just fine. If you want, you should take a look at the card hoarder link below. I'm going to run a little bit of an ad. I'm already queued up for this league, and I'll show you a little bit about our card hoarder sponsor, and we'll get queued up.
With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist.
Alrighty, so well, Jason, the weather actually is gorgeous today. It's sunny, there's barely a cloud in the sky, and I ate lunch outside and it was fantastic. Yesterday we had all kinds of inclement weather and it was a little bit of a mess, but no problems now. I'm not buggy or glitchy or anything like that. My stream is doing just fine. All of my metrics say that everything's doing just fine, but you never really know. Oh, it's raining in New York. All right, yeah. I don't envy you. I mean, I like the rain. I like curling up with a good book or a nice stream and a hot tea or, you know, a cold glass of something for a stream. That's kind of my thing. All right, we are 1 mana away from a win, and then 2 mana away from a win with protection. So we have Summoner's Pact. Sometimes it's a little bit interesting to count the mana, right? So Summoner's Pact gets our Wild Cantor. Elvish Spirit Guide casts the Wild Cantor, and that allows us to use the Wild Cantor for Dark Ritual to get black mana, and we need 4 mana. Dark Ritual makes 3 to 4 mana to actually win. So I'm going to keep this. We're on the draw. We're 1 mana away, and like I said, half of our deck, more than half of our deck, is actually mana. So we should be pretty good. And if we can get a ritual, then we might be able to... Ooh, that's kind of rough. Well, that shuts down some of my plans. Okay. That's not going to work out. This is part of the problem with the fact of the matter is I'm a combo player. I play the Epic Storm and I stream combo decks, and my opponent might know that. We're gonna wait until we figure out what they're playing, which is Moon Stompy. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. Unless I draw like runner lands, I'll give myself the opportunity to. I don't think that it's going to happen, but if I draw a land here, I think I have the chance of winning, but it's probably not going to happen. I think you're right, Alex. This is not going to work out very well for us. So it would have to be land. Very unlikely. That's pretty close to the same thing, right? So that does allow me to play under Chalice. So we're just missing 2 mana. One of it needs to be a black source. Our opponent has 4 mana that they're using for something. I'm not sure what. Caves of Chaos Adventurer. Okay. I'm not sure that this is going to go very well for us. I think that changes the clock significantly enough that even if we were to take 2 more draw steps and get everything that we wanted, we would be dead. Black Spirit Guide? No. No, I don't think that they're ever going to make another Spirit Guide. Ever. Really good cards. I don't think that they're going to make anything more. Yep, okay. We'll concede. Okay, with this, I want Foundation Breakers and Force of Vigors. I was actually talking to Faulted Form. I have a really nice sideboard guide that has a lot of information. It's very comprehensive, gives me little notes about what I need to be doing, and with the Moon Stompy portion of the metagame, their hate is going to be permanent based, like we saw Chalice of the Voids. They're going to have Leyline of the Voids and things like that. Pact of Negation is going to be completely dead. They're not going to have any stack-based interaction. And I'm actually going to deviate a little bit from what Faulted Form suggests. They suggest get rid of a Cabal Ritual. And I'm actually going to get rid of a Memories Journey. If they are going to be working with Leyline of the Void as their graveyard hate of choice, Memories Journey loses a lot of equity. That's the word I'm looking for. So, there we go. I would like to play first. This isn't Manaless Dredge. Okay, so this is not going to be good enough. We really need a spy in our opening hand, or an incredibly compelling reason to not have a spy in our hand. And this is neither of those things. This is not anything either. We're going to mulligan here. And this is everything that we want. So we're going to keep this. We're going to put back Bridge from Below. And I think the Cabal Ritual. Yeah, because that allows me to Agadeem's Awakening, or Agadeem the Undercrypt as my land for turn. Wait a second. No, if I put back Turn Timber Symbiosis, then I can win unless they have a Leyline of the Void. So I'm going to do that. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and I need 4 mana for the Undercity Informer and the activation. So we're going to call it good, and we're going to see if they have a Leyline of the Void. They do. That's unfortunate. So we are going to draw to a green card. And even if they have a Chalice of the Void, this Force of Vigor will clean up. We are all rolled up. We just need something green. And there could be some hypergeometric calculators being ran here with the 4 extra green cards that we brought in, and the 4 lands, the 4 Elvish Spirit Guides, the 4 Summoners Pacts. I'm sure that the odds are not bad. But I'm not sure. I'm not going to run the math right now. Unlicensed Hearse. Okay. Lots of graveyard hate. There's a green source. We are all rolled up. I guess that was potentially worrisome if they Chalice of the Void here. I could have run out the Dark Ritual and Undercity Informer. Doesn't look like what they're doing. Okay, cool. They've got a Goblin Rabble Master, so at the end of our opponent's turn, we're going to Force of Vigor both of their hate cards and then win the game. Yeah, Trinisphere is pretty rough. Throughout the degradation of yesterday's stream. It actually started just being completely kaput during our Moon Stompy matchup, and I actually beat a Trinisphere on turn 1 from our opponent. That felt very good. But none of you got to see it. Which is really unfortunate, but that's okay. So we are going to untap and draw an Elvish Spirit Guide. Okay, so we've got ourselves a ritual and another ritual, Undercity Informer, and we're going to, so we'll activate the ability of Undercity Informer. We're going to target ourselves, sacrifice itself. It's going to ask us if we want to sacrifice itself. We do want to sacrifice itself, and it's going to mill our entire library, and we have 4 Narcomoebas that are going to enter the battlefield. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We could interact with our opponent by Cabal therapying them, but nothing that we could therapy is going to change the outcome of the game. Like if we could name Surgical Extraction, we could name Fairy Macabre, but they would just cast it in response, right? So not going to actually matter. So here we are, and we won game 2, which means we're going to the 3rd game. We're forcing a decider, and I am pretty okay with just resubmitting. Yep. Alrighty. This is pretty close, but not going to be good enough. We're going to mulligan this one. Yet again, not going to be good enough, I think. This will do. This is great. So I'll put back Thassa's Oracle and... I should put back Thassa's Oracle and a Lotus Petal. So, our opponent has a Leyline of the Void, and we actually have the answer to it, and we just need 2 more mana. That's all we need, plus 2 mana. Our opponent can do other things like play Chalice of the Void, and we have that answered as well. I like our hand so far. That's a little tougher. Okay. I have 2 lands. Can I repeat yesterday's win? Probably not. But I drew a green card so that I can force a Vigor and not have to pitch the Turn Timber Symbiosis. Yeah, Succulent XD for sure. Alex was right. Turn 1 Trinisphere would be the worst, and yet here we are facing the worst. And is this a Goblin? Oh, this is double Trinisphere. Well, that's really tough. Okay, it doesn't stack. Everything just costs 3 no matter what, but we are going to hit land drops. There's only 6 more of those in the deck. If I have an Elvish Spirit Guide, I can use it. It doesn't actually get... It's an ability, not a spell. So there's the Rabble Master. They have a clock now. This is not going to go well for me, I think. We only have a limited amount of time, and oh boy, Narcomoeba isn't it. We are gonna try. We are gonna draw through this whole thing, because this is not quite a quick enough clock to kill us before we have the opportunity to win, but it's really close. So they'll be swinging in for 6 now, and then 8 next turn. Is that right? I think that's right. Could be more. They have... Oh, okay. Well, that's probably going to do it. Our opponent had exactly the kind of hate that they needed. I don't think that I can beat this. Even if I draw... So they have 3 pieces of hate that completely stop me cold. And I can only deal with 2 of them with Force of Vigor right now. I would need my hand to be a lot better and my draws to not be 2 combo pieces. Yep. Okay. We're gonna lose game 1. That's unfortunate, but you live by the sword, you die by the sword. We are completely shut off by the fact that we play very few lands and play straight into the graveyard as the only way we can win. So things like Trinisphere and Leyline of the Void are, pretty good. Yeah, I did tweet out the results. I guess I can pull up the photo of my results. It was pretty good. I was pretty excited with the matchups that I actually ended up beating. Hold on, let me find it. There we go. So I beat Blue-Red Delver, Mono Blue, or no, I lost to Blue-Red Delver. I'm sorry. Lost to Delver. I beat Mono Blue Painter. I beat Stoneblade. I beat Moon Stompy, and I beat someone that was playing a Volcanic Island. And that's all that I ever saw. That was at the beginning. That was round 1 of the stream yesterday. So if you were around for that, then you got to see some of that cool action. But unfortunately, not going to happen today for the 5-0, but there's still a lot of Magic to be played. If you give me just a second, I'm going to tell you about our token packs. I'm actually going to play a paper event tomorrow, and I have a box full of token packs or tokens that I am ready to use for all of my storming needs if I'm playing Storm, and we're going to figure it out. But you also can up your paper playing game with some awesome tokens.
Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game.
And we are ready to go. We are paired up against Rock Nation. And again, we're actually just 1 initial mana source away, or something like a Wild Cantor. There we go. To win with double protection. So we're going to keep this. We're on the draw. I'm pretty okay with this. Volcanic Island and a Ponder. Ponder makes me think that this could be something like a Delver with a slow start, or Sneak and Show. We'll see. One of the 2, probably. And there's an initial mana source. We are going to have a turn 1 rolled up here through days. Through days with double protection. Pretty excited about that. Is this, I should say, we're playing through days by using the Summoner's Pact to get an Elvish Spirit Guide and paying for days. So if our opponent doesn't concede, we can always Cabal Therapy them, but they typically concede before that point. Our opponent is waiting. Okay. Lotus Petal resolved. Cabal Ritual resolved. I am going to get this Summoner's Pact out of the way for the Spirit Guide, just in case these pauses kind of are making me think about days. And we'll see how things go. Okay, trigger goes on the stack. Target myself. Mill my entire library. They get to see what I'm working with, the equipment that I'm running, as I put Narcomoebas into play. And I'm going to Cabal Therapy them. And Cabal Therapy almost always names Force of Negation, because the important spell is a creature, which can't be Force of Negation, and then the next important spell is the Dread Return, which can be Force of Negation. So Cabal Therapy typically names Force of Negation. Nathan, hello. Welcome to the stream. Stream chat, this is Nathan Lippitz. They're also a well-known, prolific Oops All Spells pilot, and will likely be critiquing all of my bad plays. However, as it stands, I'm going to just be bringing in these spells for, I think, that. I got a nice little sideboard guide, and it's going to be something between Sneak and Show and Delver. Which is going to probably be sideboarded quite similarly. Yeah, probably very similarly. Okay, so we're going to take out Cabal Rituals and Acromox, and we're going to bring in Xantid Swarms and Foundation Breakers. They're a Force of Will, Force of Negation deck. They might be playing Surgical Extraction, and then Foundation Breaker is for the Graph Digger's Cages of the world, right? Things that we don't want to necessarily be completely dead to in Game 2. So, Rock Nation is going to take the play. It didn't work out very well for them in Game 1, and we're hoping that it's not going to work out very well for them in Game 2. I'm sure that they're a lovely person. I just want to crush them. Like a bug with a rock. I don't know. That sounds a little cruel. I don't condone crushing bugs with rocks, guys. It's not very nice. All right. Well, this is a keep. Okay, so I can. Let me just double check that this all works out. Agadeem's Awakening is going to be my land. And then I can Chrome Mox, imprint a Xantid Swarm, cast the Xantid Swarm. And then I have, this is going to be a little bit slower. I need mana, but I have everything that I want, which is protection in the form of Xantid Swarm, some initial mana, and a spy. So I'm pretty okay with this. And our opponent starts off with a fetch land, finding what I presume is a volcanic island. And, oh, a tundra. Oh, are we Jeskai control? We're Jeskai control. Okay. Well, the sideboarding is the same, but I might need to play around other things like permanent hate. I don't know if I can play around that necessarily. Summoner's Pact was a good one. So I'm less concerned about days now. I was going to shock the Agadeem's Awakening to play around days, but now I think I'm just going to run the Chrome Mox out. I'm going to imprint the Xantid Swarm. Yes. Ooh, they didn't do anything. Okay. Maybe they have a prismatic ending for the Xantid Swarm. That means that they're not ending my Chrome Mox. So, oh, Cephalid Breakfast? No. No, we saw a volcanic island. Underground sea, tundra. Well, I guess we're going to find out what they are. I was thinking that I wasn't going to use the Cantor to imprint because I need mana for next turn's combo. Oh, I'm so stupid. I should have just attacked with the Xantid Swarm. That was ridiculous. Eyes. This makes sense. Okay. Lag problems. Oh no. I hate this. That's not good. Okay, how are we doing? How are we doing? Agadeem's Awakening. I will take it and I will play it. I am actually going to... I'm not going to bolt this. I'm lagging pretty bad. Oh my gosh. Okay. Give me just one moment. Let me see. If I take off my beautiful face, is that going to help things out? I don't know. You can try resetting your browser. I don't know if this is kind of a whole thing about the internet being affected by the storms and they haven't gotten back to fixing it or not. I don't know. This is really bad. Seems like I'm just kind of in and out, which is not fun for a stream. I do apologize for all of that. If this becomes too much of a problem, please let me know. If it becomes unwatchable, I don't want to kind of beat a dead horse. I will end the stream and not make you suffer through it. Unfortunately, Jason, I don't actually have the opportunity to switch internet providers. I am stuck with what I got. They Thoughtseized the spy, Alex. So that was their route to victory, was they top-decked a Thoughtseize and were able to surgical it away. It doesn't look like we're going to get there. We need a lot to go right, and currently another Thoughtseize. Okay. So we know their hand is just a force of will, which I can beat with the Xantid Swarm, but we can't currently beat the Lion Sash. So I would need to have Summoner's Pact. Maybe I shouldn't have chump blocked. Oh, well, that's not going to do it. Okay. Yeah, they're some kind of 4-color Stone Blade. It's not really check pile. It's kind of, sort of. But, okay. So, Surgical Extraction. I'm not going to change my sideboarding at all for this. I'm just going to resubmit, but I am going to play around Thoughtseize a little bit more if I can. You know, sometimes you're not able to. Thoughtseize is a pretty good card against us. This is particularly all in. Oh, this actually doesn't even win because 2 Narcomoebas are in the hand, and I have an Undercity Informer which does not stick around. I have to sacrifice a creature, so I only have 2 Narcomoebas with which to Flashback, Dread Return, and I can't actually do that. So we're gonna mulligan this hand. We are going to potentially jam the turn 1 here. I can put back the Narcomoeba, and then Summoner's Pact is +1, Lotus Petal is +2, Simian Spirit Guide is +3, Chrome Mox Imprint, the other spy, is +4, and we're going to make our opponent have it. Not super great. However, if our opponent decides to keep a hand based on Thoughtseize, and Force of Negation, then we might be able to get them. I don't know. We'll see. They are still making their mulligan decisions. By the way, y'all, how is the stream? Is it still a bit laggy? Or did I kind of address it by just reducing the bandwidth of things by removing my webcam? Stream is okay. Okay, that's pretty good. I am glad to hear that. Less stuttering, all that good stuff. Maybe it's just my face. My beautiful face is too much for my internet to handle, and it crashes because it's just completely in awe, right? Is that how that goes? Fake the confidence until you have it yourself. Okay, yeah, I am seeing about that much. Okay, I'm gonna keep this. My opponent mulligan to 6 with me. And we're just gonna try it. Before we can get thought seized. We are going to attempt to do all of this right now. As likely a surgical extraction. I don't have an additional green mana to flashback the memories journey, unfortunately, and this pause does look like a surgical extraction. That's unfortunate. We're gonna see. This is a pause. They're not paying costs. I don't know. This is oops all spells. We could just oops our way through to a victory here. I'm not confident in it. They're paying costs. Okay, they are surgicaling the Narcomoebas. I do not have a green mana to pay for this memories journey. I could have done it in my upkeep, but the Chromox is a green, needs to be a green imprint, and I don't have that. So they do end up winning the game here. And the match. Okay, so we gave them the opportunity to have mulliganed to no turn 0 interaction, but they ended up having it. Totally fine, but it's a little unfortunate. So I don't know if you know about Eternal Glory. They actually just had their 100th episode. Really, really cool podcast. A couple of my friends, and they're all talking about how they got into Magic. I'm going to ask you all about how you got into Magic in just a second, but I'm going to tell you about the podcast first, give you a little bit of a story, and then I'm going to ask you guys how you're doing.
The best legacy podcast? That would be Eternal Glory, featuring myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Cobal and Phil Gallagher. We're available on all major podcast platforms and YouTube.
Okay, so awesome podcast, awesome resource for Magic content, and their most recent episode was their 100th episode ever. Really awesome mile mark. And they just kind of talked about why they play Magic, what they're excited about in Magic, and it got me thinking about what I'm excited about in Magic, what got me into the game, and what's keeping me in the game. And a little bit of a story for you. We jammed for turn 1, and they had a surgical extraction. It was kind of a rough mulligan. Couldn't do anything else. But anyway, so I got into Magic. I was working in kitchens, and one of the people that I was working in a kitchen with, I was a cook. They were kind of like a prep cook. And they're like, hey, we're going to hang out at a restaurant later. and we're going to play a game. Do you want to join in? Maybe this is a fun game for you, maybe not. And they're like, okay, yeah, sure, fine. I like card games. That'll be fine. I'll try it out. And they introduced me to Magic, and then I started playing Magic with them at their homes or apartments or whatever, and it was a bunch of fun, and I started getting into it more. I learned what an LGS was, that I could go to an actual organized building and play Magic, and there were things like tournaments and FNMs and things like that, and the whole thing spiraled completely out of control, and I'm having a blast now. How did you all get into Magic? That was how I got into Magic. How did you guys get into Magic? This screams Stifle, by the way. Oh, no Stifle. Okay. Well, we're gonna take the Force of Will. We won game 2 and lost game 3. Nathan, you are correct. Yes. So we won game... is that right? I don't know. We won 2 the match. Maybe they got both post-board games. Oh yeah, college is a great way to have gotten into Magic. You're learning about all kinds of cool things and figuring out what you like, what you don't like. College is a great way to get into it. Yeah, high school is another good way to go. Like, kind of like got clubs or you know, friends that you're in the cafeteria with or whatever it is. Always a good spot. Okay, it looks like we've got a turn 2 from our opponent. We are going to name Force of Negation. Oh, control is totally fine. Oh, they're just going to concede. That's nice. That's convenient. Magic 3 years ago at a sleepaway camp. Hell yeah. Heck yeah. Sorry, this is a public space. You know. Heck yeah. That's a great place to learn. A great place to meet new people and learn about some awesome hobbies that you can pick up and. Oh yeah, skipping 2020 is totally real. Community center at the school that had a club. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. For sure. All right. We are playing against Accumulated Knowledge, Blue-White Control, maybe even Miracles. I don't know yet. I'm feeling pretty okay with this. They could have a card that I don't want to name until the match is over, but I will anyway. They could have Containment Priest. I faced it twice last league, and it was kind of rough. Containment Priest and Dothy Voidwalker are probably the 2 hardest things to face as Oops All spells. Creature hate is at its best. Okay, so I have a Narcomoeba, which I don't want in my hand, but I've got this pretty rolled up, and I've got protection here. On turn 1, I can just cast a Cabal Therapy, and then I'm good to go. We'll see how it goes. Skipping 2020 is really reasonable. Brayden, hello. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a... I never have learned Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of watched the show a little bit, but that was about it. Never played it myself. But I'm glad you switched over. Okay, Pact of Negation is a really good pickup. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna name Surgical Extraction. They're probably going to brainstorm here. Okay, that's totally fine. Maybe I'll name Force of Negation instead of Force of Will or Surgical Extraction. Nah, it's probably going to be Surgical Extraction. That's probably... Just name Force of Will. I mean, yeah, that's fair. There's a lot of opportunities to screw up here, and they do have the Force of Will. Nathan, it's like you play this deck every once in a while. Unpundin, I have thoughts about the One Ring. They should not have put it in a booster pack. They should have kept it at Wizards of the Coast, and in the booster pack, they have an RFID tagged chip in a card that can be reclaimed as the One Ring. And what they should have done was just like, hey, this is an awesome opportunity as a promotional event. That was a perfect draw. And we're gonna make it an event. We're gonna fly the person who opens up this chip tag out to us, and it's gonna be just a great time. And instead, maybe nobody ever opens up this card ever. So, you know, could be better. Could have been handled a little bit better, I think. That is not a unique idea of mine. I saw that somewhere else on the internet, and I was like, oh, that's a brilliant idea. Now I'm upset that they didn't do that. Okay, we won the match. Okay, we are 1-2. Fantastic. Now the Epic Storm at your LGS and Oops and Modern. Yeah, those are fantastic decks. I like Oops in Legacy, and I love the Epic Storm in Legacy as well, so that's always good. No sleeves pre-release slamming the One Ring. You know, I have some friends that would actually do that. I have some friends that would totally unsleeve any kind of the One Ring opening, and it would just be bad. Maybe a 3-2. You're right, Jason. We could be doing it. Anyway, if you like this content, as choppy as it sometimes is, which I promise I'm trying to fix, and you would like to support it, you can become a YouTube member like Braden, like Jason, like Nathan, and you actually can support this financially to keep this content flowing, to pay for my internet that I'm trying to upgrade, and do all of these things that will just help grow the content that you enjoy on YouTube. And let me tell you a little bit about how to support us through all of that.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic.
And it is indeed almost time to combo. We are waiting just a little bit longer before we actually get some people in here. And another opponent would be great, but it is a Friday night. People are out having fun, maybe going out and about with their friends and partners. We'll see. So, what are your favorite things to do on the weekends? I typically like to, you know, maybe meet up with a friend, grab a coffee, grab a drink or something like that, maybe a meal. I have a coffee shop that I frequent quite regularly, and my favorite thing is, it is the Lord of the Rings pre-release. Ark, you are correct. That is pretty poorly planned on my part, isn't it? Yeah. Oh well. That's just fine. Shows and concerts. Yeah, what kind of music do you like, Nathan? It's pretty good. Always good to get out there and kind of jam out to whatever rocks your boat. 1 or 2 a.m. Yeah, sure. Nightlife. There it is. All right. We are waiting for our opponent, and as soon as you start complaining, then it shows up. Oh, hey. Thank you very much, Sir Mike Noble, for gracing us with your presence. I am running the same joke back again, but hey, Mike, how's it going? We are running through a league as quickly as we possibly can, and this has all of the mana that we need to win on turn 1 on the play. Mike, you're not at Billy Joel or Stevie Nicks, so what does that say about your musical taste? Broadway shows are fantastic. I agree, Jason. Big Broadway show fan. Hamilton traveled through Oklahoma City, and I was so upset that I missed it. I actually had somebody offer me their tickets. They were straight up paid for, and I had to turn them down. I had other plans that I couldn't cancel. Ugh, too bad. All you can say is oops. You're all right. Hardstyle and hardcore, Nathan. Yeah, fantastic. Okay. So I talked about this earlier, yesterday, I suppose. So we won on turn 1 without our opponent doing anything other than conceding. We have no idea what they're playing. And so I don't want to sideboard very heavily in the blind, but I don't want to be dead to common hate cards that Oops All Spells can cave to. So I want to play the Foundation Breaker, and I'll take out a Cabal Ritual. This allows me to have 5 copies of an artifact or enchantment hate card, which I think is going to be good enough in the blind in game 2, and then I can further adjust in game 3. I think that I like this sideboarding plan in the blind, but we're just going to have to see. Rocket League is awesome. I think that, Jason, you and I were talking about that last week. I haven't really played that much, but watching some of the tournaments is just fantastic. Okay, is this good enough? This is probably not good enough. This is good enough. I'll keep this. I'll bottom the Thassa's Oracle and the Summoner's Pact. Yeah, we're just going to need to get mana. And Simian Spirit Guide, Chromox pitching the Thoughtseize is 2 mana, one of which is an initial mana source that I need. And then we have protection. However, we're getting Thoughtseize, and none of it matters. That's just fine. Oh, they took the Thoughtseize. That's wild. Okay. Maybe they just have the opportunity to take the Balustrade Spy anyway. Ah, yes. Okay. They are doing exactly that. Yeah, Wasteland. So is this Grixis Shadow? Oh boy. Our draws have not been kind to us. 2 combo cards that we don't want in our hand in a row. Not the best moment ever. We can still draw through this, and we are... Okay, it is Death Shadow. And they likely have a Shadow in hand. I'm not even playing this Agadeem's Awakening. I think that will exist on our combo turn, which we are now 2 mana away from actually making it happen. Never mind. Dothy Voidwalker is quite the card. Okay, so the way to win through Dothy Voidwalker is to hard cast the Thassa's Oracle, and I technically have a blue source with which to do that. It's just not gonna work with. I think that it's Sea Eagle beatdown time. That's for sure. I think I'm gonna concede this game. I'm done. We're gonna get game 3. That's what's gonna happen. Okay, so as far as sideboarding goes, I would like the Xantid Swarms. This is going to be a force matchup. This is likely going to be a fairly heavy surgical matchup. I don't think that I care about Foundation Breaker here, and then I can board out the Cabal Rituals. I think that with them being Death Shadow, that they're going to have a lot of surgicals. But I can actually, oh, nope. So Faulted Form doesn't actually have a portion to sideboard here. I want Breaker, no Swarm. Why would I want Breaker when they don't have reasonable permanent cards against me, and they still have Surgicals and Force of Wills? I think that I'm going to stick with it unless you can provide me a very compelling reason not to. That doesn't quite make sense to me. I also am not opposed to the Leyline of Sanctities and sideboarding out the Thoughtseizes. I'm not here to disrupt them necessarily. And the Thoughtseizes are disruption, and I have the Xantid Swarms that will solve that problem. And then I could certainly bring in the Foundation Breaker if I really felt the need, and got the Chromox out of here. So maybe Leylines for sure here. On the draw. Okay, that's fair. I can see that. That was a little bit of a mess of sideboarding, but we're going to call it. And this is not going to be good enough. We're so close. We just needed a spy. This is the opposite of that, where we're nowhere close and no spy. This is a win with a spy and backup. We can call everything good. We're just going to kill them. Put back the Chromox and the Simian Spirit Guide. Bolt in this Agadeem the Undercrypt. Dark Ritual out. We can Thoughtseize them. What are they working with? Absolutely nothing. Okay. The disrespect. Yep, cool. We got ourselves a positive match win percentage match incoming. Are we going to hit the 3-2? We might. I don't know. We got to figure it out. If you are enjoying this content, please make sure to like the video. If you like it that much, then you can subscribe. If you like it a lot, you can become a YouTube member. For no swarm. Okay, yeah, that's fair. You can do that later. You can actually message me. That'll work out best, I think. And then I might share it with the chat if I'm feeling particularly generous next week. Because I don't know if this is going to actually last all that long. But you're still watching it, so let me tell you about it.
you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us.
Alrighty. Quick little thanks for watching the stream. These are the ways that you can show your support. We really appreciate it. I like hanging out and chatting with you all. I do have a Twitter, yes. It's at me the captain, METHEKAPTAIN, captain with a K. That's the best way to reach out if you want to chat, or you can be in the Storm Discord, which is an awesome community, and I'm pretty active in there in both the regular public section as well as the members section. But reaching out to on Twitter is a surefire way to get my attention. That's easy. All right, we are waiting for our 5th opponent of the evening, and can't wait to see what happens. We did beat the Watery Grave matchup, though. What's the story about the name? So, it's kind of a mix between, you know, oh, what is the movie? Look at me, I'm the captain now. It's a little bit of that, but the original reason for the name is that a friend of mine in college, the two of us were really big Dead Poets Society fans, and we would watch it religiously once a month. And the two of us would just, it was fantastic. It was always on. And they referred to me as Captain. I don't know. That was just fine. We had some nicknames back and forth. It was great. And it was me, the captain. But instead of a captain with a C, my last name starts with a K. So Captain with a K. And that was the kind of the origin of the username, and I've been using it for pretty much everything ever since. It's a bittersweet movie, that's for sure. It's a very sad movie. I did win the die roll. Are we going to open up on a turn 1? We did not open up on a turn 1. Let's mulligan this one. And mulligan this one. Oof. Okay. Well, the nice thing is we can win on 4 cards. We can win on 3 cards over the course of 2 turns. Let's keep it. No. Let's keep going. That's what I meant to say. Oh boy. This is not very good, but I think I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to keep this, and we're just going to hope to draw a spy. This is protection and a win as soon as I do. So we're going to bottom the Narcomoeba. We're going to actually bottom the Turn Timber Symbiosis. And we're going to bottom the Dark Ritual, or sorry, Cabal Ritual. And we're just going to, oh no, I totally skipped through my first turn. That was such an accident. Oh no, I'm so upset that I skipped through my first turn. What am I gonna do? Infect? Oh wait, this could also be hammer. This could be mono white hammer time. I don't know. Okay, so we have double, well, we have protection now. Summoner's Pact, Jason, only gets green creatures. So I cannot actually get a black creature. This does now look like, oh, they actually animated the correct one. Look at that. Way to go. They know how to play on MTGO. Yeah, Alex, that's a reasonable take. Mulligans this aggressively are often oops all spells or dredge. There are not very many that are going to keep a no land hand and mulligan this aggressively for no reason. Okay, so we're gonna just keep going. I could just play out a Lotus Petal and Thoughtseize my opponent, but I'm not particularly interested in that. I could... Oh, Forest. What is going on? I'm not sure. Venerated Rotpriest. Okay, so we are kind of jank infect. That's pretty cool. Beat the final boss of Tio. Okay, Tears of the Kingdom. Heck yeah. Did you like it? What did you think of the game? And are you going to continue playing it now that the main storyline is done? Rotpriest Storm in Legacy? I don't know. Maybe this is just like mono green infect. We're as in the blind as... Oh, there's the Invigorate. Okay. Sure. I am very close to dead. Doesn't matter. Oh, boy. Okay. Doesn't matter in the slightest. I have Thoughtseize and Pact of Negation protection here. I am sitting pretty, which is too bad that you can't see because my camera's turned off. But here we go. Yeah, the Invigorate and Infect creatures are cake and ice cream. That's just absolutely something that goes together. So the Forest is not surprising at all. Speedrunning, heck yeah. Learning to speedrun the game seems like it would be pretty intense. Speedrunning any game seems pretty intense. I keep up with some of the speedrunning community. I don't follow any particular game, but it's always fun when something gets broken. I have a friend of mine who is relatively involved in keeping up with the Pokemon speedrunning community. And I always get to hear about it from them. It's just all kinds of fun things. Okay, we won on a mulligan to 4 and didn't even have a spy in our hand. And as far as what to expect from our opponent, I'm going to assume that they're not going to have stack-based interaction. I am going to assume that they have the opportunity to bring Leyline of the Void in. I can't do anything about surgical other than Thoughtseizes, which is fine. I think I'm going to sideboard like this. Maybe I can cut the Reanimate. No, if they're a surgical deck, then I want the Reanimate Memory's Journey kind of combo. So yeah. We're gonna... Oh, they might have Endurance. I'm not gonna play around Endurance until I see it, and I can still Thoughtseize them. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Mike, or Sir Noble. I appreciate the positive reinforcement. So, biggest problem with Tears of the Kingdom for speedruns is the beginning of the game is just a cutscene. You have to go through it every time. Yeah, you just kind of sit around and twiddle your thumbs through cutscenes. But there are opportunities to... okay, 1, 2, 3... We're going to keep this, because this is really close to just comboing off. We're just 1 mana away. 1 mana away from a potential combo, depending on if our opponent interacts with us. Seven-minute cutscene? Oh boy. That's pretty rough. Okay. This might be Veil of Summer. Oh. Oh, okay. Sure. No problemo. I actually can play around Surgical Extraction if I go all in here in Summoner's Pact. No. Yeah, if they Surgical the Narcomoebas. That's right. Because I'll have an extra mana to reanimate, potentially. Now, something that they could have is Mindbreak Trap, which I'm definitely playing into right now, but I can't really do anything about that. But we're going to see what we can play through. Undercity Informer activates Milling Ourselves. If they Surgical the Narcomoebas, then we can reanimate and we're good to go. Endurance is a little rough, but I'm not going to be able to play around everything, Alex. I think that that's just going to have to be... Like, we didn't sideboard in the Leyline of Sanctities specifically because... Oh, that's the wrong time to do that. Actually, Archive Trap doesn't do anything to me. I'm assuming that our opponent has not interacted with Oops All spells before and is a little unsure about how these interactions actually take place. They seem to be a competent opponent who thought that Archive Trap was actually a useful tool, and they kept a mulliganed hand that did everything that they wanted it to. Unfortunately, it just wasn't the right thing. Crop rotation. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, do they have the Bajuka Bog? Because crop rotation is one of the hardest spells to beat. Oh. Oh my gosh. They don't. Oh, that was terrifying. I don't know. Okay, they don't have anything. I think that I got really, really lucky here somehow. I'm not quite sure what just happened. I will take it. I'm not gonna say no. To a 3-2. That's pretty cool. Yes, Nathan, we ended up winning. Our opponent had a ton of interaction, and none of it was the right one. They Archive Trapped us, and they crop rotationed, but they didn't have a Bajuka Bog. I think that our opponent is a very capable Magic player that just has never played against Oops All spells and didn't know how best to approach the matchup. So that's just fine. This is a fairly niche deck. No, I mean Archive Trap, Nathan. So none of it actually ended up mattering as far as interaction goes. We are going to open up a chest here. And let's see what the chest has. The Seed Core, Thistledown Liege, and 5 play points. Okay. Not bad. I like this deck. I actually have it in paper. I own almost all of the cards on MTGO. I had to rent a few things, like some Force of Vigors from Card Hoarder, but this deck is a lot of fun. I'm not 100% sold on the, the Reanimate plus Memories Journey package. Like this package here, I'm not sure if this is necessary in the main deck. This could potentially be a sideboard thing to play around Surgical Extraction. But in the main deck, I'm not thrilled with it. I think that this could be potentially another Chrome Mox and like a Cabal Ritual or something like that. But I don't know. I will need to talk to some of the experts about this as to why these cards are included. But I am worried a little bit about the fact that these are just a little bit, these are answers to niche interactions that don't come up very often. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I have only been playing this for a handful of leagues thus far, and not the hundreds, if not potentially even thousands of leagues that other people have played. This is a really fun, really fast deck. I didn't even mention that we're playing 61 cards that Oops is actually known for. Playing 61 cards, not 60. Kind of a lot of fun. Yeah, 800 leagues. Yeah, I'm pretty close. That's pretty fun. I like the Leyline of Sanctity tech. I think that that's just an absolute killer sideboard strategy right now with the kind of Grief Reanimate scam decks coming into play. I think that Leyline of Sanctity is a great sideboard card for that. And then obviously it just turns off endurances. And yesterday I actually ran through 2 leagues, and Leyline of Sanctity stopped my opponent Archon of Cruelty from making me sack my Undercity Informer that I played out because I didn't have the mana. So I had to like Dark Ritual out Undercity Informer with an Agadeem's the Undercrypt, and then I had to pass the turn, and they were like, oh, okay, I'm going to Archon, make you sacrifice your creature, but I had a Leyline of Sanctity, so I actually had a protected win, which was really, really cool. Nathan, I will make sure to fix that. I will turn my messages back on. I forgot that they were not there. Jason, it was good to see you. Well, it was good to talk to you. I can't see you, and you can't see me. Maybe I'll turn on the camera before I leave. But it was good to chat with all of you. Thank you all for having me, and I hope that you enjoyed this positive record Oops All Spells League. I think that we could have actually ramped it up a little bit better with some tighter play and some better draws, but Oops All Spells, it's a fun deck. I'll see you around next week.